Hi, how's it going? My name is Michael Newman, and I'm standing in front of a huge wall of things I used to do, and we're gonna play ALT's roleplay today. So, yeah! Captain Hook in Peter Pan. So the thing with villains is you have to play villains where there's at least something likable about them so people can relate to. Not the captain. Nothing relatable or likable about him. Just awful and smarmy. Every single trope you can think of about villains, that's this guy right here. So we're gonna play and we're gonna destroy these stupid children. And then when we had to also have our big merry band of pirates, have to give a shout out to my merry band of pirates. See you out there, boys. Love you guys. Playing a villain is a lot of fun because you get to do the things that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to yell at people. You're not supposed to be a bad person. You're not supposed to hurt people, and of course we don't. But as a villain, you get a chance to go out there and do those things and play against yourself. And where the hero's story, they have rules that they have to play by. There are no rules for the villain. You get to be as bad as you want to be. You get to really dive deep into that darker side of things. It seems like I'm always playing the bad guy. When a show comes up, I look at it and say, who is the worst person here? That's who I'm gonna play. Sounds great. Lancelot in Monty Python's Spamalot. Did that, it was 2014, I believe. I'm such a huge Monty Python nerd, and I love that movie so much. When Merrily Player said, we're gonna do Spamalot, I was like, yes! I was like, this is who I want to play because I'm a huge Hank Azaria fan. So Lancelot, not only did you have to play Lancelot, but you also had to play the French taunter, the Knights of Ni. Yeah, Lancelot did not have like as many songs, but he did all the fun stuff. It's because I'm French, you silly English big dogs. Oh God, getting on the stilts to play the Knights of Ni was the single most terrifying thing I have done on stage. Sarah Dunn will tell you I was holding on to her the whole time, terrified that I was gonna fall to my death at any moment with a bucket on my head. But still, I would do that show again and again and again. For all you people who are on the selection committee out there, in the Pillowman. So when I got cast in the show, I was on it. I didn't know a whole lot about it. And when I read it, I was like, oh my God, almost nothing good happens here. If you don't know the show, Katurian is a writer who has been arrested by a police state and being questioned because there are murders going on in town that resemble stories that he himself has written. And I played Katurian along with Don Washburn, Michael Westmoreland, and Richie Garza, as well as Katie Rowan playing our fantastic little girl in the back, which was absolutely wonderful. There were so many horrible things that happened. Like me and Michael Westmoreland will joke all the time, like, oh yeah, first time I worked with him, I gouged his eyes out on stage. I was like, yeah, that was a thing that happened. That was a thing. I would be hooked up to electrodes. I would be tortured off stage. There were actually moments in the show where I'd have to give these long monologues that were stories that I'd written. And there was one particularly I didn't memorize until the week before we opened, and Alan was like, you need to get that memorized. And I was like, it's really hard to say this stuff, Alan. To the point, during one of the shows, we had an audience member get up and walk out while I was saying it. And I kind of wanted to go, yeah, I know. You get a pass, good job. It's so hard, there's a couple. Nobody get mad at me. Brian from Avenue Q, nobody be mad at me. It was between my musical comedy people and Avenue Q. What kind of won it for me is we had so much fun backstage during Avenue Q. Whether it was the adult alphabet that we had going backstage, or the dance parties, or just any of those things, we had so much fun. Just getting to go out there and, you know, sing these wonderful slash horrible songs. And then when we would go out and ask for money from the audience, oh, if you were not backstage for that, that was a contest for us. We were like, okay, how much money did we make last time? Okay, so we have got to get over that right now. And I don't think there was one person in that cast who was not dialed up to 100 for that show. We also did the Ice Bucket Challenge that year too, so that was also fun. If you've ever done a show, you know that backstage a lot of people are just like, okay, we've got to get focused and we got to get ready to do things. We were not. We were just absurd backstage. Alan, we were angels and we were perfect and we would never do anything so unprofessional. We had so much fun back there. So yeah, I would have to go with my Avenue Q crew. Ensemble in the best little whorehouse of Texas. Now the question is, why does your family like this so much? Largely because it's a popular little movie with Dolly Parton and my family loves them some Dolly Parton. But also, this is the one and only show I have done with my wife. That is why they loved it so much. Not only was I up there having to be just some cowboy dancing stuff up and then going and being some car salesman, all along the way, here comes Stacy doing her thing, getting to be right along with it. Making it a family affair was just a thing all in of itself. So not only did my whole side of the family see it, but her whole side of the family flew down to come see it, and everybody got to get together, and they still talk about, oh, that was such a wonderful show. Oh, we love that show so much. It's, you know, about a whorehouse. So, you know, that was a family affair where I got to actually do a show with my wife. So my family just loves this one. I do too. Nat in the Birds. When I auditioned for this show, I did not expect this role. Who's the creepiest person in the show? That's who I'm gonna play. That was the loner neighbor, but they gave that role to Jeff Pickens and assigned me the role of Nat. And I was confused because Nat and I are not the same person. And I was confused because Nat and I are not the same person. There's so much difference. Nat's a coward. Nat tries to avoid conflict. Most people tell you, I'm like, oh no, we're doing this. Let's go. As Kim Schreffler lovely pointed out, if ever there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to Michael's house first. It was really difficult because not only was the subject matter, it was very low key and very drawn down. Fear was not brought in by, you know, the overacting, but actually underplaying it and trying to play it very normal. Not only am I having to dial it back, I have to go against my natural instincts to go do something, because that's not, because what I would do in the situation is not what Nat would do in the situation. Without the work we had in there with Riley and Joe and Jeff and of course, God, Kim, that was the note I got. Nat doesn't yell. You yell, Nat doesn't yell. Such a fun, challenging show to do. And any actor will tell you, sometimes we want to really push the envelope. And this was that show that did it for me. Plan 1 in the 39 steps. I've died a lot. It's something that my mother tells me all the time. Do you die in this show? And I have to go, do I? I've been stabbed, I've been shot, died of natural causes. I've died any number of ways you can imagine. I'm gonna go with Clown 1 on this one. This was actually a comedy, and dying in a comedy is fun, and it was very much Alan Shankle's going, just go over the top, I'll tell you when you've gone too far. And when Alan Shankle says that, it is challenge accepted. And, you know, getting to work with Travis and Justin and Carrie, we had so much like going on there. So when I had to die, it was, how do I top everything that has happened up until this point? What ended up happening was we had, we must have dragged that death scene on for a good 30, 40 seconds. It was so much fun to have there. I would die in this show 100 times. I would greatly and gladly do that every time for that. Eurydice. This show's really special to me because the day the cast list came out was the day my daughter was born. So I'm getting texts going, hey, congratulations. And I'm like, how do you know? Because I'm still sitting in here. And they were like, no, you're cast. And I was like, oh, I don't care right now. But I did care. I ended up, and we dove into it with such a great ensemble of people working with Natasha and Bobby and many more. And it was one of those things that I wanted to do this show justice because it's such an emotional roller coaster, not just from the classic perspective of the Eurydice story, but also for me, because I'm first-time dad and I'm being away from them to do this show. This is how we knew we did a good job. Every night when we came out for bows, audience members were still crying. That is hardcore on Natasha for that. She really brought her A game in that, and every actor did. To see that many people respond so viscerally and so emotionally to work that you've done, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna put that feather in my hat, because that is something that, as actors, we really, really love seeing. Guys, thank you so much for letting me play role play with you. I had such a great time today, and if you want to have a great time, then you need to come see me play Nick in ALT's production of Over the River and Through the Woods. It'll be at the ALT main stage on January 17th through the 27th. Call the box office, get your tickets. You're gonna have a good time, I promise you.